Adjust those headphones, get locked in your gaming chair, get the caffeine flowing, and get ready for a crosshair conversation with Chrissy. You ready to load in?
Calling all barbs, calling all barbs.
Hey, you guys, surprise, a bonus episode. Something big is happening in the music community, and just the way my mind works, it seems like a great way to bring up some more tech talk. So, this is a great transition topic, plus, it gives me a moment to get my opinions out about something pop culture in a safe space, like a space that I can control, I've created. Now, with that being said, feel free to drop your opinions in the comments and let's get a discussion started. This is a safe space. You can say whatever you want. I'm always down to agree to disagree. And so, with that, here we go. First bonus week episode. And again, follow the pod on Spotify and YouTube. Catch up with the weekly episodes that I put out every single Monday. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say something in the music world is at a bit of a standoff right now, I'm talking about Meg versus Nicki. Yes, the beef. And yes, this is a tech podcast. I get it. But all the other podcasts have been talking about this, and they're no better than me. I can talk about this too. And trust me, I definitely have a plan to pull it all back around and bring it back to a tech topic. So stay tuned for that. Honestly, to start off with, let me just say I am way more of a Nicki fan than Megan.
What?
I just am. Being a millennial, a zillennial, I guess, a lot of the most memorable years of my life have included Nicki music. And I've just loved how Nicki has evolved over the years. She's changed. She just kind of paved the way, you know? Now, of course, there have been songs that I didn't love, but for the most part, I haven't really had a problem with Nicki. But after listening to Bigfoot a couple of times, I can be honest. I can say that this was a miss. Now, before you get mad and you go off in the comments, I've read a few articles. I have read a lot of articles, actually, and listened to a few other opinions that dug deeper into the song. Like talking about subliminal shots that were fired, things that everyone might not catch from listening to it once or twice, like I did. For example, the switching of the flow, randomly switching it up throughout the song. Supposedly that was a dig at Meg and the statement that Meg has no flow. But to me, it just kind of came across as a traffic jam. But again, for a second listen through, I'm just a little bit confused. I feel like Nicki can do better. It seems so rushed, so unhinged. And with Nicki being so pronounced in the industry, that is not a good look. It's not a look I want for Nicki. And I'm not here to comment on the alleged drug usage, the mental health. No, we're not even going to dip our toes into that. But that's what's circling the media right now. And specifically the ending of this song. What was it? 5 minutes? That's where the allegations, that's the word. That's what the allegations are referring to most likely, or a lot of. What was that though? Like, normally I love a last line, final word, spoken bar, but the 2 to 4 minute growling, threatening session of ASMR, it wasn't even scary. I didn't even see it as threatening either. It was concerning, honestly. All of this over one line that, yes, that one line was definitely a rough shot to take, but to mention Meg's mother, and again, this is my opinion, but to mention Meg's mother multiple times over and over and over again, it's not that deep to keep hammering that nail throughout the whole song. It's just not. Whether Meg lied on her past mother's name or whatever, it became very apparent that Nicki didn't really have much to say after that. And it was just kind of rough to listen to. Now, after all this, will Nicki Minaj be canceled? Absolutely not. It wasn't a bad song. I mean, it was a bad song, but it's still hitting numbers, and Nicki fans, they're going to ride forever. And again, with that being said, for anyone threatening to go cause any destruction or harm or vandalism to any gravesite, take this as a moment to look at yourself deeper, because that's completely unnecessary. And you may need some time to self-reflect, heal, think about how much you will risk to stand up for someone that doesn't even know you exist. Trust me, being a fan is amazing. We all love fan clubs, being a barb, and we love it all. But remember your obligations as a fan and what they do and do not include. Now, Nicki is considered the queen of rap. I hope that she can turn this around and come out with some fire, and we can all leave this in the past. But until then, I think that this might be a new era approaching. Nicki has been untouchable for so long, but I do think that gap may be getting smaller and smaller with the constant beef and call out she's shooting at these other female artists. Is she feeling threatened? Is she losing her touch? Some say she's still searching for the respect that she deserves in the industry, and that very well may be. If you look at the Grammy drama, if you know, you know, if you don't, look it up. But historically, females in any industry have always been put up against each other as toxic competition. It's unfortunate, but it's another stereotype that society definitely encourages and sometimes can get you ahead of the game. Like when the American gymnastics team had their little drama 2008, 2009, around then, that received so much bad press because they were female. And it was a story the media could just run with, the typical female with the attitude, and now they're beefing against each other and so on and so forth. I'm sure the men's team has had arguments and little conflicts sometimes, but that was not a priority to report for the general consumer because, again, it was the female team, right? Female team gets the press for things like that. It's a shame, but as a female, we are locked into such a specific stereotype that nowadays is becoming accepted and encouraged. And I hate that. I talk about that a lot. Now, I'm not saying Nicki is doing that because she's constantly entering and addressing beef with newer rap females. But in a way, it is a way to keep her relevant. It keeps her name in the tabloids, in the highlights. I do think Nicki is smarter than that. But if this was a move that is influenced by a label or management, I could see that being the case. Now, moving on, Nicki's personality, Roman, back in the day, it was amazing. It was perfect. It was new. It was different. But here now in 2024, if that's what that was supposed to be, Nicki, it's not coming across the same. Again, I don't think that this is the fall of Nicki Minaj, but this is for sure kind of a little car crash in her career. And lots of us have gotten into car crashes and we survived and are doing just fine afterwards. I don't think this is something she can't get past, but I do think she needs to hit the pause button on a few things. Like the line, I don't think you want the next installment of this song. You're right. We don't want it. We want you to move on, let this die, let your work speak for you, and show them the legacy that you built, show them that it's still strong. Because if Nicki stopped today and never made another hit, she would still be on top. She's done a lot, and she's done enough to get her there. But if she continues with this spiral, I'm kind of worried. She just doesn't need to be doing all this. Wrap up the unhinged spiral, kill him with some heat, move on. Just own your place at the top. Own it. You've earned it. But we've talked about Nicki being the queen of rap. We talked about her past, her Roman persona, being fresh on the scene, being something new. Now let's talk about the future of music, right? AI music production. Now, a few to mention, Samplet.io. Samplet is a software, right? A software website that makes it easy to search the internet for samples and beats. Copyright free, of course, but overall making the creation process just easier. There's no more need to go find an artist for a beat for you, find someone create some new heat for your demo or your samples. This finds it for you to use and literally just hands it over, right? Now, UberDuck AI, that's a different one. That allows you to choose a rapper or an artist and turn any written words into that rapper's voice. Literally anything you've written. Back in 2023, Bad Bunny rejected rumors that he had a song coming out with Justin Bieber, and he kept saying it was a fake song. It's not happening. And turns out he didn't lie. The song that was featured sounded exactly like Bad Bunny and exactly like Justin Bieber, thanks to AI. This was created by an AI artist called FlowGPT. And needless to say, after release, Bad Bunny said, and I quote, "It was a shit of a song." And it was taken down off of TikTok. Another artist went viral after mimicking Drake and The Weeknd in another production created through AI. And now some artists have become outraged that something as personal as their voice could be copied and used for another someone's gain, like without their consent. And the current argument is, how do we protect artists from this happening? The question is, how do we create our own sound and bring forward our artist character in creations, but ones that are created by machine? Honestly, like I've stated before, the future of AI is so exciting to me. I love all the different things that so far we've been able to do. But I do worry about these AI created songs, and if that one day it's just going to take the creativity out of all new artists. With those softwares being the extreme of AI, currently in like the music production stages, AI is not new to the music industry at all. Spotify, Apple Music, they use AI technology to suggest other songs based off your listening history, your habits. They also use AI to curate your end of the year summaries. And musicians have always used SoundLab, and there's another one to create musical loops to help with writer's block or creativity blocks over the years. But again, with these new and higher advanced AI softwares being released and developed in the industry, the concern is so real. Should AI companies be allowed to train their language models on songs without creator permissions? And how will we be able to monitor that? Many artists have voiced their concerns and their opinions, and some have chosen to opt in and see how the future goes, and some, like Dolly Parton, have completely decided to opt out. It makes me wonder, artists that I've talked with in the past, they've stated they love creating the music. Just the behind the scenes work is a whole part of the process. So with these AI softwares taking away that and kind of creating a shortcut, I'm just curious, like, does that take away from becoming a musical artist? So I want to know what you guys have to say about this. Are you ready for the future of AI generated music? This has been a fun bonus episode. I hope you've enjoyed. Hit that like and subscribe button and keep your scopes up for the next episode.
Okay, let's move on.